Picture this. It's 2014 and you've been hearing about a weird disease called the Ebola virus that's been spreading throughout the countries. You have no idea what this disease does to your body, and you have no clue what the symptoms are. But you won't have to worry about that because the United States is medically inclined, right? Well, the first Ebola case hits Dallas, Texas, which is way too close to home for your liking. This should all start sounding relatively familiar. The U.S. had its first Ebola virus case in September of 2014 when a man was traveling from West Africa to Dallas, Texas by airplane. If we would have been prepared for this to happen, do you think that us as individuals and us as a state would have acted so crazy? Learning about these diseases and treatments can not only help us be prepared in the future, but it can also help us learn to help fight off what our bodies may be encountering daily. My sophomore year of high school, I read The Hot Zone by Richard Preston. This book provides an abundance of information about the virus and made me want to further my knowledge in the topic. Ebola was and still is interesting to me because I find epidemiology, the study of diseases, fascinating. And since Ebola is one of the most deadliest diseases known to man, I wanted to know everything I could about it. After quick research, I learned that 45 years ago, Ebola was discovered in what we now know as the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since 1976, when it was first discovered, there have been almost 30 outbreaks in around 10 countries. After recent research, scientists and doctors have discovered a treatment for the Ebola virus. This new discovery has decreased numbers of Ebola cases rapidly. It will not only help us in the future with virus research, but it will prevent any further Ebola outbreaks and maybe make the virus itself extinct. Ebola spreads easily through bodily contact, with symptoms that break a body down fast. Furthermore, Ebola is easy to spot once you have the symptoms. These symptoms usually appear anywhere from 2 to 21 days after exposure. However, on average, they appear anywhere from 8 to 10 days. According to the CDC, it is explained that initially the symptoms present themselves in a relatively dry manner, meaning that the symptoms you have at first are fever, fatigue, muscle and abdominal pain, joint pain, and severe headaches. As the disease worsens, these symptoms develop into what scientists describe as wet symptoms, which means they develop into vomiting, diarrhea, bruising, rash, and internal and external bleeding. Even though a person may have encountered the virus, they are not contagious until they start being symptomatic. Once a person begins to show symptoms, they can infect other people while being alive or dead. Meaning saliva, sweat, urine, vomit, and blood can all spread Ebola. As explained in the Hot Zone, scientists believe that humans can also contract this virus due to something called a spillover event. This means that a human has come into contact with an infected animal, such as a bat, or an infected non-human primate, such as a chimpanzee. Although this disease is very deadly and contagious, recent research and clinical trials have led scientists to finding a cure. This cure consists of a combination of monoclonal antibodies. A monoclonal antibody is a protein that is man-made. This antibody's job is to mimic the human immune system's response to fight off harmful bodies that invade the human, such as a virus. In 2018, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases developed the investigative treatment and sponsored clinical trials. According to a writer named Whitmer in the Investigational Ebola Virus Disease Treatment Journals, researchers found that a single monoclonal antibody, MAB114, binds to the core receptor of the Ebola Zaire virus, which means that it is no longer able to attach to human cells and spread the infection more. Ultimately, with further research and trials, scientists found that a triple dose of the monoclonal antibody REGN-EB3 or Imnizeb and a single dose of MAB-114 is more effective in reducing the death of people with the Ebola virus. To summarize what we have gone over today, I would like to remind you briefly of the information that was provided. Firstly, the symptoms of Ebola are severe and include fatigue, pain, fever, diarrhea and vomiting, and internal and external bleeding. Secondly, this disease can be spread through a dead or live host. Lastly, the monoclonal antibodies hinder Ebola from binding to the healthy human cells and spreading the infection more. While it's true that this deadly virus has been scaring us for almost 5 decades, we have finally conquered it. Just like we have conquered smallpox, malaria, and the Black Plague, with medical research and health professionals, I believe that we will always find a way to stay healthy.